The Dark Redemption of Sumanto, Indonesia's notorious cannibal. In the lush green landscapes of central Java, Indonesia, nestled among rice paddies and quiet dirt roads, lies the small village of Mayatenga in Purbalingga Regency. It was here, on March 3, 1972, that Sumanto was born into a large, struggling family as the eldest of 5 siblings. Life was hard but familiar. The family lived in a modest wooden house with a thatched roof. Days revolved around manual labor, tending fields, harvesting crops, and occasional odd jobs to put food on the table. Meat was a rare luxury, often saved for special occasions like Eid celebrations. Sumanto grew up thin, resilient, and somewhat introverted. He attended local schools but dropped out early to help support his family. Neighbors remembered him as an ordinary young man, polite enough, quiet, and unremarkable in a village where everyone knew each other's business. As a young adult, Sumanto ventured to Lampung in southern Sumatra for work on a sugarcane plantation. The work was grueling, long hours under the scorching sun, cutting cane with sharp machetes, and living in basic worker barracks. He married twice, first to Sutrama and later to Tugiem, and became a father to a daughter named Titis Wahyu Widianti. Despite the hardships, Sumanto tried to build a normal life. He sent money home when he could and dreamed of stability. But poverty weighed heavily on him. He often went days with little more than rice and vegetables. In the evenings, around flickering kerosene lamps, some workers shared stories of Javanese mysticism, tales of dukun, shamans, black magic rituals, and the promise of supernatural powers that could change one's fate. These stories planted a seed in Sumanto's mind. Life had been unkind. Perhaps hidden knowledge could offer the strength and protection he lacked. Slowly, fascination turned into obsession. Sumanto began seeking out local practitioners of Ilmu Hitam, the darker side of Javanese occult traditions. He learned rituals that promised invulnerability to weapons, the ability to influence others, immense physical strength, and even the power to bring back the dead. One teaching stood out. Consuming human flesh, especially from fresh corpses, could transfer life force and unlock these abilities. At first it horrified him, but the promise of escaping poverty and weakness gnawed at his thoughts. Isolation, financial despair, and a growing belief in these practices eroded his moral boundaries. What began as curiosity became a dangerous compulsion. He told himself it was necessary, a sacrifice for a greater purpose. His first descent into horror occurred in Lampung. A masseur named Mistam visited Sumanto's quarters for a routine massage. After the session, Mistam disappeared. Later, investigators would find his clothes at Sumanto's place. Sumanto confessed to killing him and consuming parts of the body in a ritual. The act was methodical, yet frenzied. He prepared the flesh in secret, whispering incantations from the black arts as he ate. A strange mix of revulsion and empowerment filled him. He believed he felt stronger, more confident. Emboldened, he targeted another victim, a man he claimed had attempted to rob him. Again, he killed and consumed the remains, convinced he was progressing toward his goal of consuming 7 bodies for ultimate power and a peaceful soul. These crimes remained hidden in the remote plantation areas, far from prying eyes. Outwardly, Sumanto returned to his daily routines, but inside, darkness had taken hold. Guilt flickered occasionally, but he buried it under layers of justification and mystical delusion. By late 2002, Sumanto had returned to his home village in Purbalingga. The pull of the rituals remained strong. On January 10, 2003, an 81-year-old widow named Mbak Rina, also called Mbah Rina, passed away peacefully in the village. The community mourned her. She was buried the next day in the local cemetery with traditional Islamic rites. Just 16 hours later, on January 11th, villagers making their way past the graveyard noticed something horrifying. The fresh grave had been violently disturbed, soil scattered, the wooden marker askew, and the body completely gone. Whispers of black magic and grave robbers spread like wildfire. Fear gripped the tight-knit village. Families checked on their loved ones' graves. Police were summoned immediately. The investigation moved quickly. Tracks and evidence led authorities to Sumanto's modest home on the edge of the village. When police entered, the scene was grotesque. They discovered remnants of Mbokrina's body, bones, partially consumed flesh, and clear signs of recent preparation and consumption. The smell of decay lingered in the humid air. Sumanto was arrested on January 13, 2003. At first, he denied everything, but under intense questioning, the full confession spilled out. He admitted to digging up the elderly woman's grave under the cover of night, carrying the body home, and performing his ritual. He described dismembering parts of it and eating the flesh to absorb her life energy. He also revealed the 2 previous victims in Lampung, detailing how he had killed and cannibalized them for the same supernatural reasons. The nation was stunned. Media outlets dubbed him the Hannibal Lecter of Java, and the case dominated headlines for weeks. The trial was swift. Charged with aggravated theft under Article 363 of the Indonesian Criminal Code, since no specific law on cannibalism existed at the time, Sumanto was sentenced to 5 years in prison on June 27, 2003. In prison, the reality of his actions finally crashed down. Fellow inmates initially shunned him, whispering in fear and disgust. Sumanto spent long nights in his cell, replaying the horrors. The promised powers never materialized. Instead, he felt only emptiness, shame, and regret. He began reading the Quran more seriously, attended religious counseling sessions, and reflected deeply on the pain he had caused the victims' families and his own community. For the first time, he saw the black magic for what it was, a destructive illusion that had ruined lives. Genuine remorse set in. He expressed sorrow publicly and committed to change. His good behavior earned him an early release on October 24, 2006. Freedom brought new challenges. His village and even some family members rejected him. The stigma was overwhelming. Sumanto was placed in the An-Nur Social Rehabilitation Center in Karanganyar, Purbalingga. There, under structured guidance, his repentance deepened. He engaged in prayer, counseling, vocational training, and community service. He abandoned all occult practices and embraced a life of faith and humility. "I know that was wrong," he later shared. "I feel sorry for it. I want to say to everybody, especially those still doing wrong Javanese mystic rituals, that it leads only to darkness." He worked to make amends through his transformation. Today, Sumanto has become a symbol of redemption. Active on social media, particularly Instagram under @SumantoOfficial, he shares motivational content, fitness routines, and mukbang videos where he enjoys large, normal meals with enthusiasm. He participates in local events, stays physically active, and uses his platform to inspire others facing hardships. The man once feared across Indonesia now encourages followers to choose the right path, seek help when struggling, and believe in second chances through genuine change. His story continues to fascinate and divide people. Some see a monster, others a man who found the light after profound darkness. Lessons we can learn from Sumanto's story. Sumanto's life offers powerful moral lessons for all of us. First, beware the dangers of superstition and the pursuit of power through immoral means. Black magic and occult rituals may seem like shortcuts in difficult times, but they erode our humanity and lead to irreversible harm. True power and peace come from integrity, hard work, education, and spiritual growth grounded in compassion. Second, poverty and isolation can make people vulnerable to harmful influences. Societies must provide better support systems, economic opportunities, mental health resources, and community guidance to prevent desperation from turning deadly. Third, no one is beyond redemption. Sumanto's journey from ordinary man to cannibal and back to a contributing individual shows that genuine repentance, accountability, self-reflection, and support can facilitate profound personal change. However, redemption does not erase the suffering caused to victims. It honors their memory by living better. Fourth, we must respect the sanctity of life and death. Cultural and religious values that protect the dignity of the deceased exist for good reason. Violating them tears apart the social fabric. Finally, this story reminds us of the power of forgiveness and second chances, balanced with justice. It calls on us to be vigilant against darkness in ourselves and others, while remaining hopeful in the potential for human transformation. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching True Crime Story IAAI. If you enjoyed this video, please support the channel by clicking like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue bringing you fascinating true crime stories and unsolved mysteries from around the world. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next story. What is your opinion about Sumanto's case? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next mystery.